Welcome to the Pillar of Salt podcast, where we talk about stuff. I'm Hank. Hi. With me is Ben.
Oh, I thought I got to introduce myself. I'm Ben.
Nope. Never.
Yeah, we totally had a topic pre-planned. Like this was a planned podcast. We're professionals.
I was hoping I could finish Bone. I did push, but I have a tiny bit left.
Yeah.
Even though I've read it before, so I could go, but
Oh yeah, if you're gonna do something, do it right.
True.
Unless that something is math homework.
No, always do your math homework right. But see, the key is you do it in class the day before.
I mean, I guess that would
That's
have been
the most efficient way to do it.
That would have been a responsible decision. Or you do it in class the day of.
Day it's due.
Yeah.
That only works if your teacher doesn't collect it at the start of class, though.
See, it speaks volumes. Of course, I think if you turn out fine, then it's easy to look back at your life and be like, yeah, this was fine. My schooling was fine. Of course. I mean, look at me. Look at my friends. They're doing okay. But it does speak volumes, and Anya has pointed it out a few times. My math teacher was not great. And, I mean, my school probably wasn't that great, especially for, STEM topics. But my first math teacher, super, super nice guy, but very old, would just, maybe for 50%, 60% of our assignments would be like, you guys want to grade this one today? We're like, no. He's like, okay, this one's a freebie. It's fucking amazing when you're a kid.
But I mean, I don't have that experience because I was always good at math. So
in high school I was fine with it for the most part. It was always an extra struggle because he did not teach it well.
Did you have one math teacher for 10 years? What's going on?
Sorry, high school math, I should say. I suppose high school algebra, and I think he did algebra 2.
Man, taking algebra in high school, what a world.
Is that did you take it later or earlier?
Earlier.
See,
I was taking math classes with a grade ahead of me by middle school.
Okay.
See,
we had that's why I said high school algebra. We did have algebra in junior high or middle school, depending on your perception of when those start. But and I was doing fine. Y equals mx squared plus b or whatever. Finding slopes and all that shit. I was totally fine at that. Then any stuff in high school, because of him, got real difficult real fast. So I was still fine.
Okay.
But...
So comparison for bad math teachers. Did your math teacher ever make you and your mom cry and then ask you if you believed in God?
Ooh. No, but I did hear that back in the day he threw a kid against a locker and gave him a Jesus talk. So that's rough. That's ridiculous.
But he didn't do that to you specifically, is what I'm saying.
Correct. He had chilled out by the time I got. It was 30 years.
So, better than my calculus teacher I had for 2 years.
Oh, it's gross on 2 levels. Calculus, disgusting.
Yeah, man, AP Calc.
Oh, okay.
AB and then BC.
So, what did you Did you like continue math in college, or did you just take like the bare minimum or test out or whatever?
Well, my college was weird. It was the Great Books program, so it wasn't like built on you pick your classes kind of thing.
Gotcha. Okay.
So I studied Euclid in college.
Like the fucked up geometry?
Yeah,
Okay.
original Euclid. We went through all the propositions. We studied Ptolemy in math,
Oh, God.
which is like ancient Greek astronomy based on just math. That's, wrong in quotation, but the math is correct.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's just based on like what you see in the sky, not, It's interesting.
I mean, that
It
sounds
was fun.
Yeah, it sounds better. It's like when I did astronomy, and like it was it's kind of comprehensive, right? Like they would do a bit of history of like the subject, and then you're like learning about the life of a star and shit. And there was a bit of like of math and physics involved, but it wasn't that much, and it was fun because it was like in a subject I enjoyed.
Sure. I don't know. I didn't realize I was good at math till I got placed a grade above with like 3 other kids in my grade.
And that's when you
like-
realize you were the shit.
I mean, that was when I was like, oh, are the other people not get this? It made sense to me. I don't know.
Yeah.
Just logic. You learn the rules and then it works. It's easy.
Yeah, my problem
It's
was
just
always like retaining those rules, I suppose. If only the rules had been more like Pokemon and less like numbers.
What?
I retain all these Pokemon names and it's no problem. Suddenly I'm asked to remember like a 1-line equation or formula or whatever, and suddenly my memory's a walnut.
I mean, I'm terrible at memorization. Memorization has always been bad for me.
The thing that really pissed me off with the bad teacher, we did have another one that I had for geometry, and he also did advanced math, but I didn't take that. I don't know what it comprised of. Just was called advanced math. But this the bad teacher would like
Advanced math. What does that mean?
I have no idea.
Never heard that before.
Yeah. I think they've since changed it. Like it's like a normal math program now instead of just like advanced math.
Like the ones that
high school
the ones that
algebra.
were like seemed kind of bullshit to me were like there was pre-algebra, which I think is the class that I skipped by getting moved up.
Yeah, we had
It was
pre-algebra.
pre-algebra. I don't think I ever took that.
Yeah.
And then pre-calculus also. I don't really I remember taking it. I don't really know why.
Yeah.
Remember why it exists.
Yeah, this teacher, like anytime we were like moving into a totally new concept, he would on a clear board, he would just write an equation and be like, solve it. And I'm like when we learned matrices for the first time, I'm like, what the fuck do you mean solve it? There's already numbers in the box. Is it not solved? Like, I have no idea what I'm looking at. This is my first time encountering this. How the fuck am I? Like, are you hunting for like a beautiful mind? Like,
Did you not have like a textbook to read?
like he did, but he would every single like new concept he would have us try to solve it like going in blind. Yeah, and it was fucking infuriating because of course you don't know how to solve it. Maybe something like early on if it's like related to the thing you just did enough. Yeah, you
I mean,
can
that, like
get an
solve
idea.
it sounds a little aggressive, but
It's too much. It's too much. For like again like some stuff. Sure, you can get an idea.
I don't know.
but-
Again, like
Ugh.
read the book.
Yeah. No, and then immediately after
It's
he would
fine.
just like basically rewrite what was in the textbook on the board and then explain it worse than the textbook does. So I was like fine in high school, but like everybody was teaching themselves.
Yeah, I mean, I was for part of my last year. I was part independent study. Like I was just
Nice.
doing the work on my own because they changed the way the class I was taking worked.
Hmm.
Where they like before they'd had 1 year was AB and 1 year was BC for calculus, and then when it was time for me to do BC, they changed it so they just made it one class for AB and BC. So while like the rest of my class was learning AB, I was just doing independent study on the BC stuff before they got there.
Nice.
And it was the 1 year I was in a class with my actual classmates. That was fun
Hell
because I
yeah.
finally had someone to talk shit with during class to the chagrin of my teacher.
God.
It's
So
especially fun to like be able to shit talk and then also be able to correct every problem that's being done on the board if any mistake is being made.
hell yeah. It sounds like a guy in my high school. Um.
I mean, we got extra points for correcting it. I get those points.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, then it's necessary. Um. So yeah, like the
Again, my math teacher didn't like me partially because I was good at math.
well. Yeah, stealing the thunder. How dare you? God.
How dare I?
Um.
Too arrogant.
Our we had like a very well, I guess our science side of things was like kind of fine. Like they kept most of it separate, but we had like our biology teacher, and then our the other teacher just kind of did everything, and he had like a doctorate and shit, and maybe like a bachelor's or master's in something else. But we would have freshman year we did physical science, which I have like it's like physics light, really. I think like we did Newton's laws
Okay.
and shit as like the only thing I remember from that class, but that same teacher would then do like the chemistry classes and the physics classes for like the older kids or whatever, or more advanced kids, I should say. So there was like a lot of doubling down, and I guess I don't know if he didn't know or if he just didn't want to tell us or didn't something, I don't know, but a student once asked him like, how does wind happen? Right? Like what exactly causes wind? Like we're 15 and it hasn't come up. Like I want to know. And he's like, "Oh, it's it's just the trees sneezing or whatever." Like some bullshit excuse. And he just moved past it. He's like, you don't have to worry about that. Like, how dare you ask a question like that?
He didn't even make a fart joke. Man.
God. That was another once you learn the secret to passing his class was, it was great. Because for the homework, he would read like the first 2 to 5 questions, and then like the last couple, and everything in between he just skipped. So like my friend would literally do like the first 5 questions,
What?
the last 2 questions, and then in the middle to fill the space so it looked complete, he would like write the name of the question. We always had to write down the question, like rewrite the question in our notebook. My friend would rewrite the question, and then just like over the course of 6 to 12 or whatever number of questions, he would review whatever movie he saw that week at the movie theater. He got good grades because he did all of his homework.
Gross.
Yeah.
I would have hated that in high school.
I
I
mean-
hated bullshit and my time being wasted.
I didn't know. Like I was doing my homework like a chump
Uh,
for years.
like a chump, true. Same.
yeah,
Yeah,
I
some
don't know.
kids in my school would like cheat on homework and stuff, and I never did. And I felt like a sucker.
Yeah. Yeah, that was I have something related to that, but one last thing on on the chemistry teacher. I think he might be immortal. He said he was a medic in the war, but he never said which war. He constantly checked his car, like under his car, like he was looking for bombs. He had a couple of professions like across the country, like like medical field, education, like law enforcement, like stuff that you normally wouldn't be bumping between all of these. And then to top it off, we go to visit. The history club goes to visit Washington D.C. Senior year, and we go to the Capitol, go in the Capitol building. One of the statues has the same last name carved on the bottom as him, looks fucking identical. It looks like him with hair or like a wig or whatever. It's like, I don't truly believe, but I don't not believe. Like, it's a little too much.
You should have staked him through the heart just to make sure.
Well, no, I want him on my side.
Safe.
I always had a good banter with him. I don't want an immortal pissed off at me.
Become a vampire. I see.
Well, I don't know. Nobody's saying vampire necessarily, just immortal. He could be some sort of demigod. I don't know. He could be the king of Gondor.
I don't think so. I doubt.
Yeah.
If he was actually old.
No, the math thing that pissed me off, that's basically very similar to what you said, is when so my required math that I had to take in university, I like fucked up really bad the first time because I was on like my fail attempt. And my second try, professor was actually great. Like the way she explained stuff just clicked with me, and I was getting everything. And the homework was really shitty because it was all online, and it's one of those things where like you type the exact answer and then it says it's wrong or whatever, and it was super annoying. But I like never did it on time, but I would always do it. I would just be late, and I knew, like, I'm looking around the class, and like, just you can tell by the room that so many students are just like straight up cheating because it's just you're just doing the homework online. Like shit, just type in the equation and fill it in.
Yeah.
And you could see the way that we got our exam scores back was like you get your ID or whatever, and then all the scores are posted, so you can see the class scores, but it's just anonymous. Yeah. I was consistently near the top, if not at the top. Like I passed every single final, including the cumulative, or not final, but exam, including the cumulative final. Other students like failed all of their homework because like that was on there as well, or the homework grade or whatever. Or they didn't fail the homework, sorry. They aced all of the homework. Yeah. Like they got A pluses on the homework, and then all of their final scores were like C's and D's, at best C's. And they passed the class, and I didn't because I didn't do any of the homework. And I'm like, I know that I broke the rules, but I passed all of the finals. I know the material. Can you please make an exception because all of these students somehow aced the homework and failed the exam? And she's like, no, I can't. I'm like, well, that's neat. See you next time. And I did, and I crushed it. Like I didn't even need to do the homework late. I just, oh my god.
Yeah, I had a statistics class in high school, and we would have these, and again, I was taking it with kids that were a year above me, but we would have these written tests that were like quizzes, like on like the reading. So they were just like reading, like, did you read the thing? Can you remember this? And I just had like, that's the thing that I suck at, is like, even if I read it the night before, I would not fucking retain anything. So I would like bomb on those quizzes and then get like 105 or whatever on the math tests. and like parent teacher night, the teacher was like really like to my parents, like, I don't know what to do. Like these quizzes are supposed to help the kids who are bad at math. but they're hurting him. It's not the purpose. But eventually, I realized how to do it, which was the way I could do better on them was I literally had to read it right before class. That was the only way I could keep any of it in my head. So literally do the reading right before I was taking the quiz.
Oh yeah. How are you?
All of life. It's just it taught me bad lessons about procrastinating.
I mean, there's that fucking green text story or whatever, like procrastinate essay or like 10-page essay until night before it's due. 4 hours left until deadline. Write entire essay in 2 hours. Get an A on it. Next essay. Yeah. Wait until 2 hours before deadline.
The worst is like one time in school, I think, like I did something early and then the assignment got changed and I had to do it again over again. I was like, no, never again.
Never fucking again. My thing, never in high school, but in university, sometimes I would get ambitious and like be like, yeah, I'm going to give future Ben a little surprise. And I would do like the entire essay in like a couple days or whatever, or some project. And naturally, it would get to be like a couple days before the project was due. I'd be panicking because I forgot that I did it. And
that's hilarious.
It always turned out fine, but like sometimes I wouldn't remember where I saved it or something. Like, be like, did I do this? And I couldn't find it. I'm like, shit, I didn't do it. Why did I think I did it? I did.
Yeah.
How were essays and shit for you? Throughout.
I had the procrastination problem. I would end up staying up literally all night and writing stuff.
But
that's how I could get myself to do it.
But was it like, cause like I procrastinated my shit, but I liked writing essays. Yeah. Like I'd be fine with it.
Yeah.
I just didn't like doing
Sometimes I could get like stuck on a thought, like writer's block or whatever.
Oh yeah,
So not always happy with what I wound up with.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I'm bad at editing myself, I would say. I wish I were better at that.
Yeah, I think for a very long
time.
But
I'm more like it's more like I will burn down a thought into saying it as succinctly as I can. So then like hitting the goals for like length or whatever.
Yeah.
Become I don't have like the way to build back to it.
Oh, dude, absolutely.
Yeah.
Like that was my issue with some of my, mostly in university, some of my essays. I'm like, I could bang out everything that's needed in like half a page, but I need 10 pages.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've not in high school or my first year of university really, because I was a good boy. But by the time I was on my third round, I just remember having like I was struggling to write something. It was like one of my late degree essays, and could not. I think it was on Chaucer. It was on the Knight's Tale. And I could not for the life of me, like I knew roughly what I wanted to say, but I just couldn't like wrap my head around like any part of it. So then I remembered the wise words of some author or another who was like, write drunk, edit sober. I'm like, yeah. I didn't get drunk, but like I had a few drinks and then looked at it the next day and I'm like, this is easily one of the best things I've written. I've cracked the code. I think really it just like, not that I didn't turn into an alcoholic. Like, oh shit, it's essay time. Give me my booze. But like, it help. It's like how drinking a little can help you with language learning, because it like makes you stop being afraid. It loosens you up so you're not scared to make mistakes. You just talk.
No,
I mean,
only fear over
only.
here.
Well, yeah, not for everyone, but I think it made me just start
Well, I never
writing.
drink. Was my
Yeah.
joke.
Ah. Then how are you gonna how are you gonna learn a language? Oh no.
I'm terrible at it. I'm. It's my worst skill is learning a language. Learning languages. I'm really bad at it.
Did you like? Did you take a class or anything? Like, was it ever required of you?
Yeah,
Okay.
I took Spanish most of my life. I took
I would
some French. I've taken ancient Greek.
I would
You
not have
know,
guessed.
I just it doesn't. I'm bad at it. I'm
Yeah,
bad at language.
man. I've maybe you can confirm. Did most people take Spanish at your school? Was that like the number one for foreign language?
I don't know if early in my schooling we had a choice. We
Oh,
must have had a choice to choose French too. Would never chose that though. But yeah, it was
yeah.
French and Spanish. I think at most.
Yeah, we had a. I mean, I've told it to some degree before, but like we had a choice.
The worst was I had to take like freshman French my senior year of high school because
Ugh.
of a scheduling conflict where they wouldn't let me take AP Spanish
Oh, that's gross.
because it conflicted with like one of my either AP Calculus or Physics. I
Yeah,
couldn't take. I was so unhappy. I did not get a good grade in that class because I really didn't
God.
give a fuck. I
our
was upset.
our senior year sounds a lot different. I managed to swing 3 study halls that year. Was a was a good.
I mean, I had 2 double periods, and like in my physics class, a lot of that time we would just be playing computer games because our class was so long.
Hell yeah.
Played a lot of foul words. Flash game.
Foul is in
Played
bad
some
language
Played.
or
That's where I
birds?
first played N. Which is
I don't know if I know
There's
N.
another Flash game. There's N plus and N plus plus. They're great.
N plus plus sounds familiar.
Yeah.
Putting
very
the
good.
putting
And
the
N
plus
plus plus they added a scarf. They're just platformers. You collect gold to increase your time. You're a ninja. It's physics based. And then there was like this Mario ROM hack thing we played. That I don't
That
even
sounds-
know what it was.
That sounds familiar.
It was like it was its own executable.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't remember everything. Like there were some real classes, but I remember one semester, the first semester of senior year, I had a study hall. I like filled out my schedule, and then I realized like I could not find a last class that I either needed or even remotely cared about. And I came to this one teacher who's like pretty chill and like, "Hey, do you need a student aid this semester? Like perhaps first hour?" He's like, "Ben, you realize of course that first hour is my study hall." I'm like, "Oh, I didn't know that at all." And he's like, is there really no other classes? I'm like, "None that I could bring myself to care about." And he's like, "Yeah, you could be my student aid." So I just show up every morning, and I think I made like 2 copies over the course of the year. Or yeah, the
Terrible.
year. And I had
I was
art class.
in as many APs as I could, and then the classes that I weren't APs were the biggest nightmare for me. Those were the classes that I fucking hated.
I took an
They were
art
just
class.
fucking horseshit.
I had woodworking, like beginner woodworking. I made a table. It's a great table, a little end table. It actually is I think I got the highest grade in the class
Nice.
on it, so that was cool. Second semester I took advanced woodworking. That was hell. I tried to make a rocking chair, did not work. My teacher admitted that he shouldn't have let me do it because it was pretty spicy.
Complicated.
Yeah, but I should have just done. I think one of the other guys had like repeated the class or whatever, and he just makes a bowl every time, like a wooden bowl. I should have just done that. Would have been nice.
Look, all I'm saying is you haven't lived until you get kept off honor roll because you get a B in art.
Oh, hell yeah. That sounds like Anya.
Or because you get a B in gym.
Yeah, there it is. That was Anya's issue.
We had to write written essays in gym.
Ugh.
And like the requirement was they had to be 5 paragraphs with 5 sentences each.
Oh
and
my
the teacher
God.
didn't read them. We gave them to each other just to evaluate if there were 5 sentences, 5 paragraphs.
Good Lord.
And then we would also have like quizzes and the quizzes, like the grammar on them was so bad that you couldn't tell what was being asked.
Hell yeah. Oh, that's great. Yeah. Was your gym class like based on effort?
No, like our grade again was based on those essays.
The
and
grade was
fucking
based
quizzes.
solely on those essays. Oh,
Yeah, and then we would run in like a circle. That's it.
We had a little bit of the essay stuff. Not even essay, but like I think it was partially we would have like unit quizzes, but it was like, okay, we spent like a month doing baseball. Like, how many bases are in baseball? Like, what's this position? All that shit, like rules and everything. And then maybe one quiz like senior year with like muscle groups or something. But it was fine otherwise because we were most of our grade came from like, were you actually attempting to participate?
No, none of our grade was determined by that. Because I liked playing sports.
Yeah, man.
If we'd just been allowed to like play stuff, it would have been so much better. Oh my God.
Oh, I still remember absolutely like
Sitting on the floor of a gym filling out multiple choice quiz.
Fuck yeah.
Ugh.
And it's just dirty.
Why?
I remember in our
Why did
baseball
you make
unit.
me change into shorts for this?
Yeah, right. You had to change every time. Ugh. I've never been like unathletic. Like I've always been fine doing whatever.
What was that?
That was
Were you
Anya.
haunted by a
That was-
ghost?
That was Anya on her phone.
Okay.
Hey, Anya.
Ghost. Got it.
I turned around and she just was like holding her phone. Like, what? Wasn't me. No, it's definitely the ghost. A brassy ghost. No, so like I've never been like unathletic, but I never did sports like past elementary school. Like outside of gym or whatever. But in our baseball unit, I absolutely destroyed. And my secret was that all the other guys who like actually played baseball or like knew more what they were doing and like trained and shit, they would find like the lightest bat, right? Because they're trying to get those fast swings, they're trying to be whatever. But the teachers, so that everybody could like actually participate as a class, he would just kind of lob the ball as a pitch, like it was just underhand, so you could actually so like, you know, the weakest person in the class still had a chance at hitting it. So I'm like, yeah, okay. I grabbed it was a huge bat. There's no way this bat would be allowed in any real game. Like it was the end was fucking massive and it was just solid. Like it was
it corked?
I don't know. It was just huge. It was heavy as shit. Everyone was laughing at me when I took it. And first hit, I destroyed that ball. I mean, like there was no fucking hope for anybody. Oh, it was so good. Baseball unit was the shining moment of my gym career, I think.
Yeah, high school baseball was no good because we were playing indoor wiffle ball on a basketball court.
Oh.
That's no fun. No fun. Why would we do this?
We had a rock climbing wall. in one of the
Oh, wow.
in a gym. Like it was fine.
Never had
I mean, it was nothing like terribly fancy or anything, but
Mm-hmm.
they somehow I don't know what the reasoning was, but somehow like nobody ever told the gym teacher, or the gym teacher didn't realize for himself rather, like you can't you have to be not mean, and treat everybody equally, but that treating everybody equally needs to come to a stop when you are finding people to rock climb and belay. So there was a pretty bad incident with a girl who was rather large, like very large, and her best friend, who was a twig, was like belaying her, and the large girl like fell, and of course the small girl could do nothing to to help this at all. So she like ended up breaking both ankles. I just a round of like, what are you doing? Like for everyone involved. Like
The fuck?
I just don't understand. It's a pretty simple like will this person like cartoon pulley me up to the ceiling if they fall? Yes? Then I shouldn't be like spotting them.
Yeah.
After that, there was a rule.
I can't imagine why they would implement a rule change after that.
Yeah, right?
Why?
I don't even know.
What? That doesn't sound called for.
I don't even think I ever knew like how it was laid out. I guess it had to be something like find someone your size. I don't know how you say that. Probably something like that. I don't know. But yeah, that was yeah. We did a floor hockey unit. Some kid, our gym teacher, we had two gym teachers in classic like film form. One of them just absolutely shredded, like a god among men, and the other is just old and really overweight.
I have to tell a story
Oh
about
yeah,
my gym teacher and health teacher.
go for
She
it.
was both.
Okay.
First parent-teacher conference. So I wasn't present for this, but I was informed by my parents, where she was telling people, you can't just go to a movie theater these days and sit on the seat because there could be a needle in there. Prick yourself, you get AIDS. You can't just stick your finger into the change on a payphone. Could be a needle in there. Prick yourself. Get AIDS.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
Gym and health teacher.
Hell yeah. Oh my god. I mean, we had that briefly. Our
Yeah.
like setups, like, cause like a lot of the times like the teachers would also be like one of the sports coach or whatever, like for a team. And our health teacher for a while was the wrestling coach. I remember he clearly was more of a wrestling coach,
Yeah.
Like I got done giving a report and he's like, Burnett, you absolutely crushed it. Like I turned around and walked to my desk. He gave me like a slap on the ass, like sports style. I like wasn't expecting it all, and I turned around. He's like, "Whoa, hey, whoa, sorry, no, I like not like that." Like he was like, because he like like in sports, this is totally fine, if not expected.
I don't know why. It's fine in sports, but
Yeah, me neither. But I was like, whatever. I know he was still a good man. Like I know he meant well. I did good on the essay, but just fucking rural Wisconsin, both the health program and like the knowledge of students that are there, just I'd still remember him coming into class one day, like when we were doing our sex ed unit, and he just led, like his opening statement was like, "You will not pee inside of a woman unintentionally." Like someone had asked, I guess, like they have those anonymous like little box for questions or whatever, so nobody has to be embarrassed. I guess somebody rolled that one out. Like, how do you not piss in a woman? Like if you have to go to the bathroom. Oh my god.
it's no good.
Ugh, what a great health class. My friend didn't like it. Can't imagine why.
I just remember when a classmate asked, "Is nasal sex possible?" in our 6 class. You know, this dick's small enough, nose big enough.
Yeah, it was good. Like, it is. There's no reason why it's not.
I don't know if it would be that pleasant, but
I mean, for somebody, it sure as hell is. I don't know who. Somebody out there.
there's some pairing, maybe. I don't know.
Ugh. Cursed comment of the podcast. Cursed image of the podcast. Yeah. I don't know. It's always like, did your school have a lot of double ups? Like this teacher does. Like we would have like our history teacher was also our psychology teacher for like that class.
In like elementary school, sure.
Okay. Yeah.
I think less so as I went up in grades. But I also always went to small schools.
Mm-hmm.
Like the whole school was like 100 kids.
Oh,
For
okay.
elementary and middle school. Like there was like one class or two classes at most per like age or whatever.
Yeah.
Until like high school was like the biggest school I ever went to with like we had like 150 kids in our class.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
My college was also small, so
I think
I never went to that huge a school.
Yeah. I mean my school was small. I guess like what I would consider like an average. I don't know. I shouldn't say average because I really have no idea.
Yeah.
But like
I don't know.
60 kids per
Considering
class,
I went
roughly.
to public high school, like that was extremely tiny
Yeah.
compared to like the other public high schools around here, which are giant monoliths.
Yeah. No, my were they small because they were like why were they small? What was the
Well, my high school was small. The other schools I went to earlier were small because they were small private schools.
Okay.
But my high school was small because it was like a weird, like you had to test to get into it.
Okay.
Like the entrance test was literally they gave you the PSATs because it was like a school built to score well on testing. So they would have
Gotcha.
like a school that existed in the system that just tested well on all the tests, on all those
Fuck yeah.
test metrics. It's basically why that school existed.
Hell yeah. Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. My
So like everyone there at least knew how to get decent grades.
Yeah, I was gonna say like that'd make a nice academic setting, I suppose. Yeah, my go-to
Nerds.
stat. Yeah. I mean that's on
Full
it.
of
Like
nerds.
a lot of the schools around here, well in the St. Petersburg, like that's how it is when you get into like the like I'm looking at like Anya's class or like her brother's class or whatever, or there's a big school, or I should say like a very popular school, like the one everybody wants to go to, and it's one of those things like Anya said there's like people who are 30, 40 years old and like their email address still has the school number in it. It's like one of those, and they all just nerds as far as I could like I would get so much lunch money. Be crazy.
I'm
But
just saying,
yeah.
I played a lot of Magic the Gathering in high school.
Yeah, I was gonna say like I remember playing Magic after school once with Jeremy, and a classmate came up to us. He's like, "Would you guys rather play that card game or like sleep with a woman?" Or like, probably the woman thing. He's like, okay, cool, and he just walked away. Like that was
Great.
yeah. But like, no, I mean, I don't think anybody truly gave a fuck. I don't know. We had like our school was attached at like every side, so it was basically by the time you get to high school, you've been with these people for like 12 years, so you're essentially a family.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
which is
I
nice in its own
understand.
way, but
I only had that for like elementary into middle school. For high school, it was kind of I was with new people. I
yeah.
had like a few people that came over, but by then like I kind of weren't friends with those two
Yeah,
anymore.
yeah.
Or at least not as good a friend.
God, the
That guy
only
became a 9/11 truther later, so
oh yeah, that's no good.
yeah,
The
one of the first friends I ever had.
the only the only problem with like our well, not like huge problem, but um being part of a kind of a unit for that long, like
Uh-huh.
sometimes it would be like, there's like the core group of kids who had been there since like kindergarten or whatever, and then a few moved in like in elementary or middle school or something. By the time you
Mhm.
get to high school and there were like new kids, like, good luck. Like if a kid shows up like junior year, it just I think many of them had a hard time like finding like a true group. Also kind of
Mm.
due to the nature of people that showed up in high school, but just yeah.
Sure.
Aside from
Look, you
like
just have to rely on sports or Magic the Gathering. That worked out for me.
you would
So.
think we
Or maybe video games. Sometimes video
in
games.
in high school we started getting a couple transfer students,
Yeah.
and it actually for two of them it worked out pretty well because there was a dude from Germany who like was super into sports and like working out and stuff, so they just threw him on the football team and let him go nuts.
Yeah.
uh and there was a girl from France, and she was super into bands, so like she played saxophone and stuff, and like we would talk and whatever else. And I mean, band kids were super welcoming. Like, you play saxophone, fantastic, we like saxophones. And it was great. There were two girls, I think, from Argentina that I only recall seeing once, and they were super excited to be in gym class. And then it was a gym class with like the fit teacher. So the thing we started class with was doing lunges across the gym with dumbbells, and they bailed. I never saw them again. I don't know if it's coincidence, but in my mind, I always was like they couldn't handle America. Yeah,
Too aggro.
too aggro.
Too terrifying.
It wasn't that bad. It's not like we did it the whole class period.
I mean, apparently it was bad enough that you banished them.
Man, I'm sure, I wonder if there's a
Flee in
school.
terror.
I wonder if there's a school out there. There probably is, where instead of like taking an academic test to get in, you have to take like like a physical fitness test. Like some,
I don't think I would doubt it.
well,
Well, I feel like the way that goes is like the admission is super expensive, but if you're a good athlete, you get a scholarship or whatever. I
yeah,
think that's
sure.
like the equivalent.
Yeah.
But it's like a school can't. The problem is the school can't be entirely made up of people who played sports. Like, you don't need that many people for a sports team.
I guess. Yeah. Well, what if you want multiple sports teams? Like,
Even
you can't
still.
just you can't just have all the football players being baseball
I mean, yeah,
players
you can have
all
a
the time.
football player, you can have a basketball team, you can have a baseball, you can have like a rowing team.
I think I think if you went like just based on the sports that were to be had in like the area, like let's see, assuming that there would probably be a bit of overlap, but like I know that some of this we like if there wasn't like we didn't have swimming, for example, but a school next to us did, so you could just join their team or whatever. They're same for like hockey. So I mean, you could probably like football, basketball, baseball, probably wrestling, volleyball, and then like softball, women's basketball. That sort. I think there'd be enough. There'd be enough to have like a full student body. Would it be a smart student body? Who knows?
I don't know.
Instead
I wasn't
of
really on a sports team until college intramural sports, where everyone got assigned to a team automatically. There were four,
oh,
and just everyone got assumed. So it was kind of a crapshoot who would actually, how many people would show up to any given team, because people were assigned regardless of whether they were actually going to show up to play or not.
what was your team?
I was on the Spartans.
Well, like baseball, football, basketball.
Oh well, it could go seasonally through all the sports. It was just like an intramural league, and we would cycle through different sports.
Gotcha.
Like we would do flag football, basketball, soccer, and handball. But like not like bouncing off a wall handball. Like I don't know. I've never seen that form of handball played actually, other than there. So I don't really know. But like you have like there's like a goal and stuff. It's like a small. It's only like rugby sort of, but
Okay.
different. I don't know. It's hard to describe.
Interesting.
Whatever. I got voted most honorable my freshman year, so
Yeah. I mean, for what? What'd you do?
for the sports stuff.
Why honorable though?
I don't like that was what that was a reward. That was what like the team,
Huh.
the guy who ran our team nominated me for. I don't know. In high school, I got nominated most unique. But the kind of person I was in high school.
I don't think I got nominated for anything.
Or no, I was most unique for our yearbook.
Nice.
And I was very angry when they interrupted my physics class to take a picture of me. Because I didn't want the yearbook, so I didn't give a shit. I was really mad. I think the picture they took, like my head is just lying on the desk. Because I was disgusted.
Nice.
No fun zone over here.
The only thing I didn't get any yearbook anything, but they had some other, I don't know, I guess like categories that aren't like, of course you have like best smile, like most likely to succeed, that sort of shit. And I think every school has like its own unique, like just fuck it, we're gonna do this year. And
Sure.
they decided to have like, was it cleanest car or nicest car or nicest
What?
like, it was something like cleanest. Like it wasn't about like, oh shit, he's driving a Corvette or something. It was like, how do you maintain your
High
car?
school?
Yeah. Well, everybody had a car
Weird.
pretty much, just because.
I don't think anybody in my high school had a car.
Well, when you got people live like 40 minutes away or whatever,
Yeah.
like a 40-minute drive. I was upset that I didn't get that one because my car was fucking pristine. I kept that car so goddamn clean, like throughout its entire life.
There would have been nowhere for anyone to park
Well, yeah,
in my school.
yeah. We had a
Pain in the neck.
lot of space. There was enough room, like I don't know what they're determining. Well, I suppose the parking lot size was like determined for sporting events, I guess. But there was definitely plenty of room in the winter when it'd be like school lets out the day before Christmas vacation, and I shouldn't say everybody, but probably most, if not all of the guys, like would take the long way out of the parking lot so they could drive through the empty spot, do a quick little 360 on the ice before going out the driveway. It was a good time. Somehow nobody crashed. Yeah. School was I don't know. It was fun.
It's a time.
It was, yeah. Anya's definitely turned me on to like how the education was probably less than comprehensive. Ideal. Yeah. But like it turned out fine.
Sure.
Then again, I mean the joke is that like I say it turned out fine, but I'm sitting in Russia, so.
Uh-huh. Yeah. I don't know. I had fun in college, but it did not provide me any thing that looks good on a resume to get a job. So, ugh.
You majored in English, right? Like lit?
No, it again, it doesn't. There's not a. It's just a liberal arts degree. It's not.
Okay.
Doesn't even have like a specialty really.
Mine,
it's general.
My certificate like also kind of doesn't, which I probably should ask about. Like, I don't actually think it says English literature anywhere on it. It just says like Bachelor of Fine Arts.
Mm-hmm.
So, I don't know. I also didn't get a certificate for teaching English as a second language. Like, I know I met the requirements, but I thought there would be a piece of paper involved.
Weird. I
Yeah.
mean, if you got the job doing it, then I don't think it matters.
Yeah. Well, they asked if I had it. They never asked to see it. They just like took me at my word. Do you have the TESOL certificate? Yeah, absolutely. Excellent. You're in. Do you want to see it? Nope.
Good.
Yeah. Thank God. I mean, I'm sure if I'd like emailed the school and be like, hey, I need proof that I did this.
Uh-huh.
I don't know.
Maybe they asked behind your back.
Yeah, that's true. I certainly could have. As I was finishing university, like we were going through a bunch of shit, so I got both my certificate and my degree like way easier than it should have been, because they were like gutting all of the humanities.
Oh.
Like
everything must go. Blowout sale.
Yeah, I mean pretty much. Like so many of the
got 10 degrees. Who wants them?
Yeah. Like almost literally.
Gotta get rid of all these by the end of the day. They're going on the fire.
Like it was like all humanities. Like shit like history and English, where like people didn't know if those were going to be departments anymore. So like all of my English professors were like, okay, first off, you don't have to worry. Like they're not going to screw you guys over if you are in the middle of finishing an English degree. Like don't worry about it. It'll be totally fine no matter what happens. They won't do that. Like that's a guarantee. Second off, I'm looking for a job. Like you can finish your degree, but I might not be here to do it.
Great.
And our one of my grammar professors, like super chill guy, his class was amazing. And it was, I think I also got like the best class of his because it was his last one before he retired. So he was just like pretty chipper all the time. And then all the humanities shit started happening. I remember he got interviewed, and it was great because he was like, I mean, of course it's terrible, but I'm retiring after this year, so.
Burn it all down. It's fine.
Yeah,
Whatever.
they did end up keeping English at least, but a lot of other shit got just
I would
nuked.
hope so. Fuck, it's just English.
Yeah,
God.
right. I think the main problem is like no matter what you got, it would have affected
Yeah.
this school in particular because their big thing is like their major thing that they're known for is like anything ecological, like environment protection, like forestry stuff, anything like that. And the second thing, and these two are at the top, and it's like such a wide margin before you even get to like the third biggest. The second thing is education, like teachers. So if you're nuking the history thing and someone wants to be a high school history teacher, now what the fuck are they gonna do? You know? So
First, you become a tinsmith. I had a history teacher in high school who had been a tinsmith.
oh hell yeah.
He really talked fondly about having been a tinsmith. Like, it was clearly what he'd still be doing it if they hadn't closed the factory down. Like,
Hell yeah.
all right,
like-
I think that's a podcast.
Yeah. Gotta go to work. Gotta write that spam.
Good luck.
Yeah. Are we doing an
No
outro?
sign off.
No sign off? Okay, I'll sign off. Peace.